For each of us in our personal experience, there are moments. We have moments with people. Now think about that for just a second. When I talk about the personal experience, first of all, the personal experience is really all about relationships. Remember, it's our family, close friends. Those are the ones that are involved in our personal experience, and we want that personal experience to be special. We want it to be something that is really twofold, right? On one hand, we want the personal experience to allow us to completely be ourselves. We want the personal experience to allow us the freedom to be able to relax when we need to relax, engage when we need to engage. We also want that personal experience to be meaningful in what we have to give. So we take from the personal experience, but we also give to the personal experience, and we want to be able to give in very special ways. The Heath brothers have done a great job in explaining the power of moments in this book. It's a wonderful read if you haven't done so. In there, they talk about the 4 elements that create moments. And I want to talk about those things today. They're so vitally important. The 4 elements of a moment are elevation, pride, insight, connection. These 4 things are what it is that create moments for others. Creating experience has a structure. This is the structure of the moments, the peaks of those experiences. So all experiences have peaks and valleys. All experiences continue the ebb and flow. That's a great thing. That's exactly what we want to have happen. Within that, there are elements or moments that have great impact. These 4 items, elevation, pride, insight, connection, those are the 4 things that create those moments. What's interesting when we look at the moments, okay, when we look about the structure of moments, the structure of moments is really all about emotion. And when we think about relationships, relationships are really all about emotion to begin with. We know that. It's how we characterize, what we do with that. So elevation is really about helping somebody feel joyful, about feeling engaged, about feeling motivated. That's really what elevation is all about, is creating that sense within another person. When we think about the early dating experience, right? My wife, that is now my wife, when we were dating, she always wanted to be with me. I mean, why would she not? But it's important to understand, that's my side of the story, by the way. It's important to understand that we elevate or we engage a person at a different level. When we're trying to create a moment, it's not the regular conversational thing that we're likely to forget about. It's something impactful. The next one, pride. Pride is really where we're celebrating or acknowledging somebody else's accomplishments. We all want to be acknowledged in what we do. We go through life, we work to accomplish certain things, and giving that sense of pride, again, it's a moment. That's why we have graduation ceremonies. That's why we have ceremony around awarding the gold medals. Getting it, achieving it, doing it is one thing, but being recognized for it is what makes it enduring. It's what makes it a moment. The next one is the one that I love the most, actually. It's called insight. And insight is when you see that light come on, boom! This is a revelatory moment for that individual. They get it. It's a transformational moment for that individual. They get it. At that moment, everything shifts. Why? Because I suddenly get something different. Oftentimes, in the process of what I call the vision quest that I take clients on, this happens. I've seen it many, many, many times. And when that light bulb comes on, when they actually get what it is that we're going through, everything from that point forward changes. The process of insight is one of the processes that create moments. And you don't forget those moments. Those are aha moments. The world shifts at that particular time. We've had those. We've even had those in unison. When significant things happen, oftentimes everything shifts as a result. I remember distinctly where I was sitting. I was working on a program actually that was going to be delivered the very next week. when 9/11 happened. Now, this was a pivotal moment in my life. When that moment happened, it was astonishing. Not only because of the massive devastation that had just occurred, not only because we just witnessed something that I in my lifetime had never seen anything even remotely close to that. Those were very impactful things for me and millions across the world. For me, there were other things very personal that happened that day as well, creating insight, creating a moment. The last one here is connection. And connection is all about bonding. Now, this is the relationship element of the moment. Sometimes we can be related to an individual. Like I talked about with our own personal relationships, or the relationship that I have with my wife, there were moments, right, where we connected, we bonded. Otherwise, we wouldn't be married today. And without that bonding, we wouldn't have been able to progress or proceed. The same thing holds true, though, in areas that are not necessarily considered a one-to-one relationship. A graduation ceremony can be a bonding moment with the institution, not necessarily with any one person. Because it has the structure, or follows the structure of moments, it can be a moment in itself. So while it's terribly important for us to understand the structure of moments, the structure of moments are elements of the larger experience. They're experiences that we have, the experience that we have in this life, the experience that we're likely to have is all based in relationship. Moments are an element of that relationship. It's probably the best part of that relationship, but it's still an element of the relationship. We want to recognize it for what it is and be able to construct them where it's appropriate and where we truly want to have impact. We want our personal experience to have meaning. We want our personal experience to be meaningful not only for us, but for the other people that we're in relationships with, right? Creating moments is what gives meaning to those relationships. And that's what experience is all about. Remember, we're all about having and creating exceptional experiences. We can't do that without creating exceptional moments. Thank you so much for being with me on the Primacy Podcast. I do appreciate it. Share these things with other people you know can be helped by the information